The first impression people get is just what could be behind this sort of nondescript little warehouse door, and they just step into what feels like another world, and you can see it on their face. They're really quite surprised with the idea of this private little oasis. The large warehouse, of which our house now sort of sits against, would have been a boot factory.
Walking into it, there was nothing that you could initially see that would, create a nice family home.
The smaller warehouse, which was ours, and at that stage probably looked like the ugly duckling, it really was dwarfed by this large one, and I think I could really do something with this space. We collaborated with actually a friend of mine, Stanley from Splinter Architecture, and we thought, well, yeah, if you actually utilise that external wall, it'd be beautiful actually to have that inside your own place and look out from that. So rather than sort of just being enclosed by four walls, we sort of took the idea that we've got one big wall at the back of the property, and then we just sort of have glass looking out to our own open space. Looking out onto the garden, and you can see the sawtooth roof, which is look at around 4 metres high, and you can see where the old roof line, that sawtooth roof, sat. We thought, well, if we made the inside of the house a little bit smaller, but gave it lots of aspects of visual sort of to the outside, you would have a sense of space. We knew that greenery was going to be a big part of creating this idea of an oasis, and especially at the ground level.
I guess the combination of the brick and the old structures with the modern of all the steel and the glass, and then we've got the greenery that really softens it up.
Every level you go up, there's just sort of a different sort of take on the garden as we get higher, and I guess the environment changes almost slightly. We go all the way to the rooftop, which is just almost purely succulents because they're constantly out in the sun.
So this pylon here was originally what was holding the roof up, and we've left it, graffiti and marks and all, and we've created a swing for the kids that they absolutely love.
Chris encouraged us to leave a lot of the history of that boot factory running through the entire build from the ground floor all the way up to the top. I think there's a nice contrast with something that's quite new, that needs to be built, and something that existing that doesn't need to be so-called made better. We loved the idea that you could see a lot of those warehouse elements still very visible and palpable. You could really feel it.